you want to chime in what's happening with your favorite KFAN shows, you can. You can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Just let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Standard text message and data rate supply.
The new Winter Park, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. It's a sprawling campus, tend to be. It's there's plenty here. It's it'll make you blush. I had a quick tour of it when it first opened up, kind of just the what do they call it, the 10-cent tour, and got to look inside. And it's spectacular. They also have the Vikings Museum in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the whole thing. And they their lighted field is used by high schools, and I think maybe even some colleges for scrimmages and such like that.
Their indoor field house is pretty cool.
Yeah, so they got the whole thing here. We're awaiting the arrival of Will Reichard. He's the 6th-round draft pick of the Vikings back in... He's going into his third year, so that would have been 2023, I guess, 2024, 2026. Had just a distinguished career at Alabama. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. They call him Will Reichard. And so we're going to talk.
I think they call him Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill.
Or they call him Legatron.
I kind of like, they pretty much call every kicker that, right? Every city they call their guy Legatron. Will the Thrill. How about we call Kirill the Thrill?
Oh, I like that.
See, I'm always thinking, always coming up fresh, fun, new, exciting kind of things for the audience to enjoy. So we'll work on.
Why don't we call him Dollar Bill Will?
Dollar Bill Will.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that he signed a $4 million, it's like 4 years, $4.197 million. Which
not bad.
I tell people all the time, though.
Yeah.
After taxes, that's really about $2 million. All right? And then you got to buy a house, car. You got, you spend, invest, save, flaunt. At the end of the day, that's probably only a couple $100,000 a year. Can he make that last, and can he kick the ball on natural grass?
I always love that one.
That's the question we want to answer. So, but that's what I want to talk to him about is the idea. He started kicking. He went to like some kicking camp when he was in 6th grade. So at a very young age, it's the old if you could go back and do everything over. You ever ask that question to somebody, would you change anything? And a lot of people go,
yes.
Wouldn't change anything. Yeah, you would never.
I would change a lot.
You would never have asked me if I would let you be the producer of the program. No. You never would have done that. Is that Will the Thrill? No, he's not here. Is that Will?
No.
Anyway, I would have.
Technically, they still had like 14 minutes of walkthrough, even though the kickers haven't been out there.
I would have tried to have been a place kicker or a punter. You get to play in the National Football League. Chicks dig that. And you really don't have a lot of... it's pretty difficult. I guess you could stub your toe, I guess. That would be bad. It's about the only injury that's really going to hold you back. That, or I guess a hammy. But you don't get injured very often. The only thing...
Except for Martin Grammatica when he celebrated after making a field goal.
That's exactly right. Well, and here's what I'll tell you. Of the two kicking positions, punter, I think, is less stressed just because your offense has been terrible that possession anyway. You're just trying to kick the ball off. If you drop the snap or make a bad punt, that's bad. But the place kicker is usually coming. How often does he come in a good team that's winning games? How many times does he come onto the field to either win it or lose it? How many games do you think a year on a 17-game schedule? Probably
three,
4, maybe 5 even. So, or might not even be the game winner. There's the old, you drive the team, the drive stalls. Here's a kick to tie it with 4 minutes left. Wide right, move, push it left, or hook it left. So it's there's more stress, I think, involved in being the place kicker. But, the health-wise, as far as football goes, is probably one of the better.
The fact that he, training camp, everyone else has.
Yeah.
They're doing burpees and calisthenics, and he can just, kick a couple balls every once in a while.
Well, here's what I would do, especially if I was, the best kicker in the league. I would just go to the coach and say, look, while the rest of the team's practicing, I'm going to take my wedge down there into the corner, and I'm just going to hit balls. I'm just going to work on my short game down there. And he goes, well, we need you to kick. I go, went 28 for 29 last year. I don't think I need to practice my kicking. And what are you going to do? You know, it's like being...
He doesn't even need to train.
No.
He doesn't even be in the weight room.
It's like being...
As long as you're making your field goals, no one cares.
It's like it's the same as being Barrero, the morning show, or PA working for the Fan. Do whatever you want, right? That's what those guys get to do. You know? Whatever you want, whatever it is. They let them do what they want to do. So I guess a kicker, if you're really good, you can do that. Well, think about that. You got, there's Harrison Smith's basically saying, I'll let you know later. I haven't figured it out yet if I'm a player or not. Sometimes but that comes from getting yourself to a place, a prominent place, where you are a productive player, you are a player that's well liked, and you bring a lot to the field, the gridiron, the ice, the court, the diamond, whatever it is, and then you just start saying, rules are different for me, man. They are. I'm sorry, they're just different for certain guys. And so, well, like even for instance here, and now this has more to do with just keeping players healthy, but I think this year, because the coach has stated we're going to have both of our quarterbacks, McCarthy and Murray, they're going to play some preseason football. We got to see what it's like in real game action. It can't just be in controlled scrimmages 7-on-7. And I know that what do we call it when they're with the Ravens?
Joint practice.
I know you learn stuff there, but it's still not the same as playing in a game. So they'll do that. So I think I've asked you this question a couple times, Tim. Do you think that if that is the case, do you think then the ones on the offensive line will play? Do you think Jefferson will play? Do you think Addison plays? Or do you think it's like, nah, we're still going to run backups out there? I just think that doesn't make any sense, because then to me that kind of defeats the purpose of playing the guy in real action games. Because if you're not playing for the real guy, with the real players, and of course it depends upon what's going on the other side of the field. What is that team doing? Are they using ones? Are they using twos? So I think we might see this might be the season we might see Jefferson. He'll play some, but generally speaking, you don't. And it's a lot of it has to do with where you are on the food chain of players. But it also makes common sense that you're just not going to play your best players and get them. It's tough enough to get through a 17-game schedule without getting injured. To add 3 preseason games in the basically what we like to call meaningless games, which they are because they don't really count. It makes sense not to play, but I think we'll see him play this year.
I know I've said this multiple times with you. Up until this point, KOC's track record is he doesn't care about preseason games.
Right.
And he doesn't play starters. Now, if this is a real competition that's going to be going into late August, then maybe, yes, we'll see some of these starters playing for the sake of. But I think probably before preseason game number 1 even goes, we'll probably have a starter.
You think so?
I think Kyler will be named starter before then.
Okay.
And I think he might play 2 series total in preseason.
Okay.
KOC has always shown that the preseason games we had in the 1990s, those are now joint practices.
Yeah.
Right? Those he will let, because you can still control them a little bit where they're not getting hit super hard in those spots. I think Kyler will be named before preseason. I think when you get into joint practices, Kyler will play with all the ones. When you get into preseasons, he'll play 2 series max.
Okay.
And it might not even be, you don't need to see Justin Jefferson. Whatever chemistry Jefferson and your quarterback are going to have, they're doing this in practices and joint practice. I don't think you needed a series or 2 to preseason game. Now, maybe KOC changes the way he's always done things and is doing exactly what he said, but I just don't buy it because he hasn't had a track record of showing the preseason. This is a guy who gets on TV in the middle of a preseason game on the simulcast and hey, mic me up and talk to me while the play's going on. I just don't think he cares that much.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the truth, the whole truth, or at least some.
By the way, it's great television and radio, but
some semblance of the truth. But whether that holds true, if they really do feel like there's a true quarter, because he did say he planned to play him during preseason, but maybe you're right, maybe it would be very, very limited, and maybe they'll already make that announcement because the coach did say they're not going to wait forever to announce who's going to be the starting quarterback, so we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think
if you want to do a little, I have some 5 questions.
Yeah, why not? Why don't we do it?
I didn't give the opens to Brett, so we'll just have to do them ourselves.
Yeah, we don't even need the opens. Just go ahead and grill me on a couple of things. I like watching the planes land anyways.
Well, it's 5 questions brought to you by Willow River.
Yeah, Willow River Company, your outdoor living experts.
Question number 1. You already got to this a little bit, but the Twins acquired right-hander Jeff Hoffman from the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday in a deal that included lefty Deshaun Hill, the number 8 prospect in their farm system. Hoffman, who lost last year's closer's job with the Blue Jays to Louis Varland. He owns a 3.94 ERA in 51 games this season. He's compiled 75 strikeouts and 18 walks in 48 innings while totaling 5 saves. Since giving up 5 runs in a loss to the Orioles on May 30th, Hoffman owns a 1.21 ERA over the last 23 games with 30 strikeouts and 8 walks in 22 1/3 innings. Common grade, the trade.
Grade, the trade.
Well, he's already ready for it.
I like it, and as I stated before, and again, I'm guilty of what I like doing the old get to the Western Conference Finals and get back to me, get to the NFC Championship game and get back to me, get to the ALCS and get back to me. So that's a way of saying my standards are a little bit higher for than just like, we made the playoffs again as a wild card 3 years in a row. We get bounced in the first round. And so with those of us that have sort of expressed our disenchantment with the Pohlad family and never trying to add to the team and always cutting payroll, and when the team looks like they might have an opportunity to at least be in the mix, they still won't do that. So, is it because they've done that so few times that we're supposed to get really excited now? And I don't want to just exude this like I'm just delighted and I can't believe what we've done, but to a certain extent I am excited and can't believe what we've done because they've never done that. Now, they didn't go out and get the best players possible, but at least it was better than what we've seen in the past where they just kind of go, it's just not working this year, and they go in a different direction. So that's why I would give the team a. If you give me a grade, I give them a B. I mean, I'll give them an A for effort, or is it an E for effort? How does that go? E for effort.
Probably an A for effort.
A for effort. I'll give them an A for effort, but I don't know what they'll be like. I also saw.
But the other Hoffman note, by the way, he was the one who blew the save in Game 7 of the World Series last year against the Dodgers. Epic game.
Yeah, epic game. So. Well, somebody's got to be a GOAT and somebody's got to be a hero, and he just was. But at least the one thing, if you want me to defend him in that case,
he was a closer on a team that was in the World Series.
That's right. So he was in a position to either.
Yeah.
Somebody in that situation is going to fail. Somebody's going to succeed. He just happened to be the guy that failed. So just like John Smoltz, he lost Game 7 of the World Series to the Twins. Well, he didn't take the loss specifically because he left the game when it was still a scoreless game, so he didn't get tagged with the loss. But same thing, he wasn't blackjack and went 10 innings of shutout ball, but Smoltz was brilliant that game, just every bit as good as a blackjack was.
Question 2, in the trenches. The Atlanta Falcons and running back Bijan Robinson agreed to a 3-year contract extension today, reportedly worth up to $75 million, with $51 million in guaranteed money and $37 million at signing. The base value is $66.75 million, which makes Robinson the highest paid running back in the league in average annual salary. Common, should your Lions pay Jahmyr Gibbs more? And would you be comfortable with that?
Well, first, I'll tell you, how much money did Bijan sign for it?
$75 million over 3 years.
And I tell people all the time, after taxes, that's really about $40 million in spend, save, flaunt, invest, use. It's not very much money. Do you think that's why, both were, do they call them hold-ins now instead of holdouts? Because they actually show up. And they stand around on the field in their gym shorts and T-shirt and kind of pace back and forth, but they're not not with the team. I'm not going to show up. So
they have ear infections.
Yeah, right. And it's all for one and one for all. I'm still there supporting the team and all that, which is all cool. But do you think Gibbs was waiting? Because it seems like now Gibbs should get $76 million, right? Because every player of the same position, always, no matter, even if he's not as good, he sets the new plateau, right? He's the guy that sets the benchmark for what that guy should get paid. Gibbs is brilliant. I mean, I think he's a terrific running back. I'll let other people be the judge. I know of Bijan Robinson. I haven't seen him play a lot because I don't watch Falcons football that much, but I know how good he is. He might be the best.
Looked good against us last year.
And he's probably considered the best running back in pro football. So, but yeah, I mean, Gibbs is in that same stratosphere. Certainly, the Lions just have I go back to that Campbell quote from last year where they said, somebody basically said, "You guys spend a lot of money." He goes, "Yeah, we're going to keep spending it until we don't have any left." And I think they're at the point where they don't have any left, especially after they sign. If they sign Gibbs to some kind of extension, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have 6 highly paid players, and then they're going to have the other, that'd be 47, are all going to be on minimum contracts. I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, he's deserving of it. It'd be interesting to see. Did they get the Pacheco guy from Kansas City?
Yes.
And hasn't he had an injury history as of late?
He's been a little beat up the last couple of years, and he's not been the same as he was early in his career.
And when they signed him,
I think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, and when they signed him, he said all the right things about, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I can't wait to get in there. You almost feel like you have to have, it's got to be a shared position, at least to a certain, doesn't have to be 50-50. But if you just run one guy over and over, that's why the position was devalued for the longest time. It seems like it's come the other direction now again, right? Where the running backs now is teams.
Well, I was just going to bring that up because I feel like the NFL's contracts are like off kilter, right? Like Bijan's making $25 million a year.
Yeah.
Today, Zay Flowers, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, good receiver.
Yeah.
He signed a 4-year, $140 million. So he's going to be making $35 million a year. And I'm thinking to myself, would I rather have Zay Flowers at $35 million or Bijan Robinson at $25 million? There's no question. I would rather have Bijan at $35 million. So the running backs, while they're getting paid more, I still think it's not exactly aligned properly with what the wide receivers are getting paid.
Yeah.
Zay's a quality number one receiver, but he's not a game breaker. He's not a game changer.
Right. And so if you're investing that kind of money in a running back, I think what you got to do is you got to keep them healthy, and the best way to do that is fewer carries. Excited and delighted to welcome American-born football player. That's what it says in your Wikipedia page. You're American-born, because there are football players that aren't American-born, and you're a sidewinder, right? Soccer-style kicker.
Yep.
Will Reichard, the place kicker for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
I noticed, looking through your Wikipedia page, you went to a kicking camp in like 6th grade. That's when you first started kicking?
Yeah. I started in 2nd grade.
2nd grade?
Yeah.
When you were?
When I was very, very little, and then my first ranking camp, I guess, whatever, it was in 6th grade. Yeah.
Was that like parents pushing you in 2nd grade? Like, did you know in 2nd grade, hey, I want to kick, or like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so soccer was like my first passion. Grew up playing that, and then my dad decided that I needed to be tougher on the soccer field, so he signed me up for football. Turns out I didn't get any tougher because I became the kicker. So, I just kind of fell in love with it and started to take it serious. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Back then, in Little League, you would get 1 point for going for 2.
Yeah.
And then you would get 2 points for kicking an extra point. So it was like an advantage. Yeah. So my coaches and friends were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, we're getting an advantage every time we score a touchdown. So that kind of kept me in it and kind of fell in love with it that way.
I'm significantly older than you. And hard to notice. I know you probably think I'm probably about the same age, but when I played football, by the way, I did. Just to let you know right away, I'm not one of your normal reporters you talk to, or media members, out of shape, unathletic. I played football at a young age. I played both sides of the ball. I was a fierce pass rushing, rocket Gibraltar run stopping defensive lineman, and a precise route running, sure-handed pass catching tight end. I was really good at both positions, and that was back when I was in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So both sides of the ball. So that toughness your dad was looking for, I had it. I look back, if I could change anything, I'd be a place kicker, because you don't get hurt when you're a place kicker very often. Have you stubbed your toe? Is that the worst injury?
Let's knock on wood a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
Okay. But I mean, you play in the National Football League, you make a good league, you sign a contract for $4 million, right?
Yep.
So you got a big contract, and you get to kick, and you don't have to tackle people, and you don't have to block people. You got the best of both worlds. You're smart.
Yeah, it's great.
Is that Alabama education?
I guess
Crimson
so.
Tide?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I saw in 2020 you didn't miss a field goal.
Yep.
Did you think you would never miss a field goal the rest of your life at that point? I mean, how do you go? The number was astonishing. You were like 98 for 98 or something crazy like that.
I think we only had 14 field goals that year, so it's a little bit misleading.
Oh.
I mean, that's really not that much. I mean, last year I think I had 33. I mean, almost triple the amount of attempts, or I guess, at least over 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a fun year for sure. We had a really good offense that year too. We had the Heisman winner Mac Jones, Smitty. I mean, we were putting up like 50 points a game, so they didn't really need me to be kicking.
Yeah,
much.
well, Alabama's always good, aren't they?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And you grew up there, I'm assuming Alabama fan, or?
No, I actually grew up a Florida fan.
Okay.
My dad was from the Panhandle of Florida. I was a big Tim Tebow fan. He was like, the best player in the world in my eyes. And then when I started to get recruiting for kickers is weird because normally schools are only going to take one scholarship guy, and they're going to play for 4 years and then kind of recycle that way. So usually, once every 3 or 4 years, somebody's going to take one. So you kind of take your schools, every Division I school, and you cut it into 25% is where you could possibly go. So Florida took Evan McPherson, who kicks for the Bengals now. He's a year older than me. Yeah, stud. So obviously I wasn't going to go there, and just kind of how it plays out, what schools are going to offer certain years or whatever.
This is going to be your third year with the Vikings, right?
Yes, sir.
Third. In your first 2 years, have you ever had to make a tackle?
I don't think so. Our kickoff coverage unit's been good. The first preseason game I played in, we had a field goal blocked. Me and Ryan Wright chased him down. He pushed him out of bounds. That's the closest I've gotten to.
Because here's my question: when you're watching the place kickers and like let's say they do the kickoff. Maybe not. The kickoffs are a little different now. But let's say the guy gets loose. PA goes, he's loose. Then he's running, and you're the only guy left. You see the place kicker. He seems to always do that. Pretends he gets deked out and just kind of throws an arm out like that and jumps because he really doesn't want to get run down. Is that really what the case is, or did you really get deked out? Is that trying to, is that a survival instinct by the place kicker?
Probably. It's tough because, we're probably 15, 20 yards back most of the time, so they have returner. I mean, that's going to be the most elusive guy on the other team.
Right.
They've got 20 yards of space. There's nobody around, so they can kind of go. There's a two-way go, so it's tough. I mean, you're just trying to do everything you can to get something on him or make him slow his feet, turn him back into your help. I mean, anything you can do to slow him down, really.
Yeah. It wouldn't be fun, though.
No,
it's
not fun looking humiliated, right. Some of the guys.
I have a question on your long snapper, Andrew DePaula, because, last couple of years, he's Pro Bowls, All Pros, and from a layman's standpoint, I don't see any difference in any of the long snaps in the National Football League. What is the difference between Andrew DePaula's long snaps compared to other NFL long snappers? What makes him better?
Yeah, his field goal snaps, I've never seen anything like it. It's in the perfect spot every single time, laces out. It's unreal. I mean, the first spring I got to work with him, I think he threw 100 out of 100 perfect snaps. It was unbelievable. And then he's very good punt protection-wise. He knows what's going to happen before it happens. He does a lot of studying on that kind of stuff, of different rush looks and stuff, so he knows exactly what's going to happen. I mean, he's phenomenal in between the ears, and he's also really talented and works his butt off, too. So
our guest is Will Reichard, place kicker for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. So now, does the place kicker and the punter and the long snapper, you guys are kind of you got a room, right? You got the receivers room, the quarterback's room. Do you guys kind of all hang out together, congregate together? That's you three guys, right?
Yep. We spend a lot of time together for sure.
I had this theory that before, when we knew you were coming on, punting and place kicking, they're the two places where you actually kick the football, right? And they're both probably nerve-wracking. But to me, it seems like place kicking would be a bit more, because if you're the punter, obviously you want to get off a good punt. And if you shank it, that could be bad. It could cost you a game. But you're coming into the game when the offense has already failed miserably, and you're kicking the ball anyway. You're coming in a situation oftentimes. How many times do you think, on average, does a place kicker in the NFL come into a game with the game on the line? He either makes it and you win. It's a walk-off. That happens a handful of times a year, right? That's got to be immense pressure.
I'd say there's at least a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Every week. Yeah, there multiple every week.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that just seems like there's more pressure built into being the place kicker than the punter. I don't want to dismiss what punter does, but it just seems like that's a much more pressure-filled position.
Yeah, I mean, their job is also very difficult. They're hitting a moving ball.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine standing over a golf shot and the ball moves when you're in the middle of your backswing. But, for us, I mean, we're putting up points, so that's a big deal, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, whoever has the most points wins, so every time we trot out on the field, we have a chance to increase that chance or not.
Speaking of punting, you punted when you were younger. How much different could you go out and punt right now? Like, could you punt at an NFL level, but they just want you to place kick? Or, like, how far away are you from being an NFL punter?
I don't think I could go out there right now and punt at an NFL level. I was really, really good in high school, and I haven't punted in probably 3 or 4 years. I would have to train for it.
Because I think that would be a benefit to a team to have one guy who could do both positions, saves a roster spot. You'd probably get paid a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just slippery.
Just too hard to do?
Yeah, 2 different swings. It'd be hard to be consistent at both. And then, like, if you get hurt in the middle of the game, then your whole team's screwed. Normally, most punters can somewhat hit an extra point.
Your backup punter, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your hang time? I just want to talk football. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about. What's your hang time?
On a good day, I don't know. I could hit one over 5.0.
Really?
For sure.
Oh, nice.
Can you...
I just wouldn't be consistent because I haven't done it in so long.
How about the coffin corner kick? Do they even do that anymore?
Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, why don't they do that anymore? I don't ever see them do it in the NFL anymore. Why not? Why don't they do that? That's the way. Back when I played football, I played both sides of the ball. Oh, I already told you all that. But when they punted, it was like you were always trying to put it out of bounds inside that 10-yard line. It doesn't seem like that's that much of a... they're not trying to do that as often.
Well, most guys can hit it so high now that you give your gunner an opportunity to go down and catch the ball or get the ball. If it bounces at the 8, you can have them send it at the goal line and you can get it at the 1.
Okay.
Instead of hitting a low ball that's out of bounds.
How much has your kickoff preparation changed in the last year with now the new landing zone? You can't kick it in the end zone. I'm assuming you're kind of kicking off differently than probably what you did most of your life.
Yeah, a lot. I used to work on kickoffs a lot. I mean, before this rule changes, how big of a kickoff ball can you hit? How far and how high? That was really it.
Yeah.
I don't really practice kickoffs that much anymore. Now it's we're mostly like a placement team, so I'll try to hit one between like the goal line and the 5, so it's a lot more touch. So I'll try to get that touch, but and when it comes to like the dirty balls where guys are trying to hit it on the ground, that's very difficult to do. So I work on that a little bit, but not too much because I feel like it can kind of mess up your field goal swing. It's two different swings.
Okay, so I know and there's nobody listening, right? Yeah. Well, we got a couple people. The coach has told you who's starting. Is it going to be Murray or is it going to be McCarthy? You can tell us. Go ahead.
Look, I've probably watched as much practice, probably less amount of practice as you guys.
Okay. Great gig. Do you play golf?
I do, yeah.
Do you think because you're such an exceptional kicker, could you just go to KOC and say, look, I'm going to just practice my wedge game down in the corner, and when you need me, go ahead and give me a holler, but I'm just going to work on my golf game?
Oh, we tried to get him to get us a golf simulator last year, but I don't think he went for it.
He didn't go for that.
You didn't ask him about the wire.
They're about the wire?
The wire kick last year.
Oh, well, before we get to that,
okay.
one more question. There's nobody listening. Is Harry the Hitman coming back? Has he told you? If you talked to him, is he coming back and playing?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him since the last game of the season last year. I haven't seen him since. How
about when you hit the guy wire with your field goal attempt and nobody knew what happened? Boy, it looks like I'd hit a bird or something, and then it hit the wire. Mm-hmm. And then did you go? I thought I read where you like protested to the league and said you lobbied to have him remove that missed field goal from your record because it hit the wire. There's no question. Why didn't the ref overturn it?
I don't know. It was probably, I didn't even notice it at the kick. My head's still kind of down.
Okay.
I look up, the ball's like, way. I was like, oh, that's weird. Whatever. I go back to my phone. Phone's going crazy. I look at the video. My agent calls me the next day and was like, hey, we're going to go to the league. We're going to fight them on it. He had said that they had somebody tell them that it did hit and that they were going to work on getting it overturned. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Doesn't seem right.
Yeah, so then they sent him, they got back with him and was like, hey, we'll admit that it hit it, but we're not going to do anything about it. So, all right,
okay.
It is what it is.
I can put a call into the commissioner's office. I don't know if they'll take the call, but I can go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, I don't know. It was frustrating, but then, time moved on. We had to go on to the next week, and I was still getting asked about it 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks later, and it was like, all right, it is what it is at this point. Nothing's going to happen, so I'm just going to move on.
If you're watching a game, let's say you're not involved, you're watching a Monday Night Football game, kicker comes in, one of your peers, game's on the line, he misses, do you feel bad for him, or you just go, it's just the way it goes, better him than me?
Yeah, no, I feel bad for him, for sure.
Because you're all part of the same brotherhood.
Yeah, most of us guys know each other pretty well, so it's, you're rooting for them, but also you know how it feels when that happens too. It's not a good feeling for sure.
You married your high school sweetheart, did I see that?
I did, yep.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good for you. So you're looking forward to the season, I bet? It won't be long now before you... Will you kick at all? And, a lot of the starters never play in preseason. Did the kickers?
Yeah, we play in all.
Yeah,
because there's no other kicker on the roster.
Yeah,
so
okay, yeah.
we don't have a choice.
Right,
Yeah.
very good. Anything else, Tenby? Because
last thing, I see that the UFL they have a rule where if you kick a field goal over 60 yards, you get 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see something that instituted in the National Football League?
It'd be interesting. I don't know. I feel like it would drive out some of the really consistent guys that, maybe they're stretching to hit from 60 plus, and you might get some guys that are huge legs, but maybe not as consistent. So I don't know if that's good for the game. We'll see. I mean, their UFL fans seemed to enjoy it last year. So, I mean, I'm sure if the NFL fans want it, they'll put it in.
Sort of like those long drive competitions. The guy can hit it a country mile 400 yards, but he's going left and right half the time anyway. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Continued success in your career and make them all again. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Good to see you. That's Will Reichard. He's a place kicker for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, live from TCO Performance Center. It's continuing coverage of Vikings Training Camp 2026 right here on The Fan.
You're listening to Common, live from training camp on The Fan. Presented by the Minnesota Sports and...
Score your chance at top-tier tickets from John Mulaney to Smashing Pumpkins, My Chemical Romance, and more. Don't wait. Enter now. KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Hey, we're back. TCO Performance Center, the new Winter Park. It's Vikings Training Camp 2026. It continues. It's our continuing coverage here in Eagan. I'm Comedy's Tenby. Will Reichard was just with us, place kicker for the Vikings. The fierce pass rushing, rocket Gibraltar, precise route running didn't do much for him, did it?
Wasn't impressed.
Didn't get any kind of reaction from him. Some of the other guys, they just burst out laughing. They're just like, who is this dude, man? But he seemed to like...
You might have thought you were serious.
Maybe. Well, I did play both sides of the ball. I played in sick.
Well, he also doesn't... He's not in the trenches like you were. He doesn't understand.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, his dad thought he was soft as a soccer player. Said, you got to go play some football. And I like the idea of the self-deprecating humor. He said, well, then I guess I was kind of soft because I ended up being a place kicker rather than playing actual football. So, yeah, it will. So it's. I mean, it's always nice to have a guy that you can count on for kicking. There's nothing worse if the guy can't kick. You just don't know what's going to happen, So, and they're not going to make them all, but they seem like they're pretty good hands, or I guess would be a pretty good feat with having him as a place kicker there. So now, they go back in, and now they'll redo because the fans are starting to slowly file.
The practice at 2:30, so they'll go in and get a little lunch.
Yeah, a little lunch.
Maybe a lift or maybe a little rest time. Yeah. Read a book. Maybe they're looking at some plays. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they'll be back out for
they're in the quarterback room where Kyler's on one side of the room and J.J. McCarthy's on the other side of the room because just like class back in the day.
Yeah. I wonder if that's still the case. I remember how much press that got. Oh, there's a dissension between the two, and I don't think it really had anything to do with that, but maybe that was it. We talked about who do the Twins play tonight? They play KC. Which they're a terrible team in a terrible city with terrible fans, a terrible stadium. Wasn't long ago they were one of the best teams in the league. Did they win the World Series a couple of years ago, or did they just get to the World Series?
They were definitely in it.
Yeah, they were in it. I thought maybe they even won it, but it goes to show you how quick it can be there and it can be gone, and that's why when you have moments, and I'm not going to pretend that the Twins are in a position where like, boy, it's all going their way now. All the pieces are in place. The Moon's in the seventh house, but at least when you have that opportunity, they've given themselves for at least. If you are a fan of the team, whether it's hardcore or casual, at least now you can go, oh, okay, well, I sat up and take notice of that. We'll watch and see how it goes. But then you look at that move, and then you see what the Dodgers did when they went and got Scooble. And I think it was Will Smith, I think. No, not Will Smith. He's the actor.
Actor rapper.
Yeah.
Entertainer.
Who's the...
and a slapper.
Who's the Washington Post guy? Will Rosie, who's the Washington Post guy? Will, whatever his name is. Writer. George Will. So George Will, he writes baseball, okay? And I think he was the one that wrote this piece. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else, some national baseball writer. Did we talk about this? He was defending the Dodgers. He was saying, well, everybody says, of course the Dodgers did that because they have so much money. But and I didn't do any research to see if he was accurate here. But his claim was that, many of the players on their team are homegrown. It's not like they went out and their team is full of free agents or their team is full of players they traded for. It's players that they drafted, played in their minor league system, and they built them up, and now they're contributing. Now, they obviously can tweak their roster better than other teams too because of the money that they have. But I guarantee you there are other teams that have plenty of prospects that they could have traded for Skubal. So I tend to agree. I mean, the Dodgers made the best offer, at least the best. The Tigers thought was the best offer, but I think there were other teams that were very interested in him that also made offers, and it just wasn't they didn't want to go as far.
I think part of the problem is 20 teams in the league can't afford them, so you just eliminate.
That's true too. But there are also teams.
We're not negotiating against the entire league, but yeah,
there are also teams that are, if they're in the hunt, they'll take that as a rental for a while. Let's take a break. When we come back, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, just moments ago addressed the assembled media. So we're going to run that back. We'll do that on the other side of the break, and then we'll welcome the legendary Mark Rosen into the conversation. The Vikings have had 65 training camps. This is number 65. Mark Rosen has covered 64 of them. So we will talk with him. Also, before the show is over, we're broadcasting live from the new Winter Park TCO Performance Center Vikings training camp here on The Fan.
You're listening to Common, live from training camp on The Fan.
Performance Center in Eagan, site of Vikings Training Camp 2026. It's our continuing coverage. Players back inside. They'll be out shortly for 2:30 practice. Fans starting to slowly trickle into the grandstands tend to be to watch. I hope they get more than that. It looks like the grandstands out in front of the Common Man Show at the State Fair, and there's nobody there.
Timberwolves would kill for a crowd that big.
Yeah. But you know what? I guarantee by the time 2:30 rolls around, it'll look like the bleachers for the Power Trip morning show, because they'll have a lot of people there. So anyway, KOC news conference moments ago, and so let's hear what he has to say. This is Kevin O'Connell.
The guy on our roster, especially some of these young guys, since they've worn pads. So to have a physical day where we came out. Pretty clean across the board from an injury standpoint. Was really excited about that. We'll go back in shells today. Still going to be physical. Still going to be, very similar to, maintaining what we're trying to build. And then we'll get back for a little bit more time on the field tomorrow. Fully padded practice. Excited about all that will go into that. Just a quick update. Just on a couple guys, dealing with just some very minor things, but Damon Claiborne and Dominique Orange, Big Citrus, those guys will work themselves back in today in different capacities. Indy, maybe a little 7-on for Damon, and then we're expecting to have them, back with us. So just a minor thing, being smart with some stuff early on, and then James Pierre will be back out there participating today as we. Ramp his reps back up and excited about it. Really like where our team's at right now. There's always going to be different levels to the competition. Our guys are handling it the right way. One side wins one side of things. Another side wins another. But it's next play, next period, next practice. We're just kind of in this mindset that we're trying to build right now of, totally committing yourself, all 11 guys, both phases, each individual snap, and can we move on? Can we respond? Can we be better on the next play no matter what happened on the previous? So a lot of good stuff going on right now.
Talk about Kyler learning and picking up the offense. How do you evaluate that with only, kind of a handful of reps that he can get? How do you evaluate how far along he is in the offense?
Yeah, I think, you look at it from a standpoint, we're stacking some reps now, and you can see maybe growth from, the first or second day to now. Because the beauty of our offense is there's a lot of layered learning to it, where one coaching point from an early install, it will apply to how decisive you can be making a decision, or, your timing or your accuracy you're throwing the football with. And he's shown improvement every single day. And most importantly, just the comfort level that comes, I think, with all the hard work he put in over the summer after kind of being exposed to a lot of this stuff in the spring.
How do you feel like just the melding, what you guys have wanted to do with the run game has gone through the first week?
Yeah, I think there's been some, really good hits. I think there's been some, as far as productive plays in the run game. There's been other plays where we're really, really close and it's one block, here or there, maybe a guy's angle, maybe it's the combination, maybe it's a combination of, me putting together something that was, trying to see what it looked like, the angles, whatever it may be. And it's our guys know right now, we're in the stage right now where every play impacts the next. And that's what you're trying to build when you talk about marrying the run and the pass. But what I have really liked, Alec, is, the feel of it. Guys running off the football. It's by no stretch perfect, nor does it have to be right now, but we're trying to build up to a place where those guys on the field have confidence in the call, and the schematics of it are one thing, but it's the fundamentals and techniques and what it looks and feels like. And like I said a couple days ago, sometimes the best gauge of that is those guys on the defensive side.
What's more important to run the football, a great offensive line or a great running back?
Oh, I think, a great running back, always, can maybe take a play that's blocked for 4 or 5 and ring the bell. I mean, there's examples of that, not only around the league, but I think we got guys capable of doing that on our team. But to me, it's an all 11 thing. Running the football isn't just about the O-line, the tight ends. Josh Oliver's one of the best in the game, at those early down jobs of, taking on a lot more than many guys in this league can take on from a physicality standpoint, and really being a guy that we can put at the point of attack. And really the defense has to recognize that. And then they're adjusting, and then we can run away from those things and get advantages other ways. But it's totally a group effort. The combinations, Max Bredesen is off to a really, really good start. I felt his pads popping yesterday with some contact, at the point of attack. So I think, it's great to have both. It's great to have one or the other, and then how you pair it all together is that all 11 field receivers doing their jobs, quarterbacks running the show, making sure it's a premier look that we're running against. And, we package those plays with cans, and it's an either-or kind of world based upon certain criteria and things like that. And then details of the track of the back, the speed at which that mesh happens of the handoff. Can we be elite on the things we can control, and then apply the physicality and the intent with a total understanding of the guys on the field of what we're trying to get done? That's when it looks and feels the best for those guys, and you can feel it. They get excited about it even early on right now.
Jordan Addison, what's sort of your 3-year assessment of his progress, growth, direction, whatever, and what's your trust level in him at this point?
Yeah, ton of trust level from a standpoint of I believe he's able to play through contact a little better now. He's gotten stronger, since we first got him. He's always had that elite quickness and transition separation ability. He's always been a pretty elite catcher of the football from a standpoint of both when he wins with separation, rack after, when available, and then also some of the contested catches that he's been able to make. And now I think the last layer of it is just the nuance of how he's making routes look and feel the same, how he's understands the timing of whether he's on the front side or the back side of the progression, understanding what he runs and how that maybe affects somebody else around him. And then he's very friendly for the quarterbacks. Even though he's not a big guy, his catch radius is significant for a guy his size. And then he just, that nuanced feel is what I think guys start to get with more time on task and experience, and he's showing that.
Trust level, character, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he loves football. He's a great teammate. Clearly, he was a young player when he came into the NFL, and I think he's learned, matured, and he knows exactly what's out in front of him. He knows what's important to him, and I'm proud of his growth and development in that phase as well. And I think there's a lot of folks in this building that deeply care about Jordan and what's best for him on and off the field moving forward, and you can count me as one of them.
Do you expect Jake Golday to already be able to play on the edge and at backer and all the spots that he's...
Yeah, I think it's one of those things for me, Alec. Like, I'm a part of the conversations in draft meetings when Flo or Swerve, or Thad or Nielsen are kind of talking about players, and we talk a lot about the vision and the role. And so when he starts to fill kind of those things, maybe, it's been pretty impressive, his ability to handle a lot early on. But that speaks to the onboarding process in the spring and how he's handled his prep coming into training camp. And he's already seamlessly able to do a lot of jobs, which is really exciting. He's got a great example, really in both spots, whether you're talking inside backer with Cash, IP, or on the edge, obviously at that Sam spot with Gink. So he's got great examples to learn from, and he's a fast learner that's really, really talented, and football makes sense to him. So that's normally a good formula for a guy to, do what he's done early on. Really happy with him.
Kleinfeld, what have you guys seen from him so far? I know there was excitement about where he could go in year 2.
Yeah, I think I was just talking to him actually in the walkthrough. He's, obviously everybody sees the one-handed catch yesterday, but I thought the route itself to get the separation that he did, his understanding of the details of things. I think he has a better plan at the line of scrimmage, this year. A lot of times, when you get a young player that's as fast and explosive as Ty is, it takes them some time to understand, defenders, especially knowing the juice that he has. They're not just going to let you have a free run. You're going to have a plan. You're going to have to get on an edge, and save the space required while hopefully activating that explosiveness. He's been really good at the top of routes in transition, and then, Ty's working every single day on catching the football because he's going to get open. He's going to have some opportunities, especially knowing the other guys he's in the huddle with and how much coverage that they dictate. But he's off to a really good start. Now, like I talked to him today, it's putting it all together and continuing to show up because he's showing up every day in some capacity.
You mentioned the routes. How much have you seen Justin in year 7 here? It seems like he's kind of coaching guys up on the route detail. How do you see him kind of taking that on? Yeah,
I think you guys know how important it is, since Justin's become a captain here, and he's really thriving in that role, in the room, on the field. You see him during individual, whether it's Ty or any of the other young guys. He is constantly trying to, spread that knowledge around. This guy's seen every coverage. He's run every play in our offense. He knows the ins and outs of it and the techniques and fundamentals to apply. And it doesn't just have to be the way Justin does it, because Justin does so many things at a high level. Players should be watching him anyway. But the willingness of a player like that, he doesn't know the impact he has in the moment, but over the course of a long period of time, he's impacting a lot of people on this team.
Last one. Message to these flag football.
Yeah, that's actually, between getting to go out and watch them when they were here, and then we had them come out a little bit in the off-season program, so I feel like I know them, the Irish, really well now, but, we had some things that both myself and Mark Wolf shared in congratulating them, but I just think, as somebody with 2 daughters, and my daughter either right now or a little bit earlier today, she's taking part in the flag football camp that's going on in the stadium right across the way there, and my niece is in town. She played quarterback on her flag football team in San Diego, and I told them, you guys this is big time stuff to set the path for young girls to think that, I can grow up and be a quarterback, a receiver, I can be a corner, I can, and have a place to go play and compete and win state championships. It's really exciting, and I think it's absolutely awesome, and any way that I can support it right alongside our organization that does such a good job supporting something that's very, very important to us.
Hey, there you have it. There's a head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champions, Kevin O'Connell, talking about what's happened so far in camp and some other odds and ends. Jordan Addison, wide receiver, soon to be big game world champion, has also talked to the media. This is a shorter one. He talked for about 3 minutes, but let's go ahead and hear what Jordan had to say to the media.
Ty, right now, I'm seeing a lot of growth. I'll say he's been a lot of explosiveness, quickness. He's releasing well and he's finishing his plays.
What are you expecting out of yourself this year?
Out of myself right now, where I'm at with it, just every opportunity that comes to me, I just want to make the most of it. You never know when you're going to get your ops, so everything that come my way, I'm just trying to make sure I capitalize off of it.
What was the hardest part when you got to the NFL about learning to be a good wide receiver in the NFL?
One more time.
So what was the hardest part about learning your position at the NFL level? What's the most difficult part of the transition from the college to the NFL?
Yeah, I'll say the transition, one is the playbook and then the speed. Like both of those working off of each other. Like you really don't know too much what you're doing at this moment, and it's a lot of bullets flying fast. So I feel like once you get the playbook down, everything pretty much slows down for you, and then you just be that playmaker that you've been.
How have you seen Justin's voice in the receiver room and on the field kind of grow over the time you've been here?
Honestly, from the time I've been here, he's always been a vocal leader for us and just helping the younger guys. But I feel like it's being more magnified now, and it's just everybody else get to see it.
When you guys get to go to events like WWE together as a team, what does that do for you guys with the camaraderie and bond and help you guys on the field?
Yeah, it just brings everybody a lot closer together. Some people when they're in here, they're like tunnel vision, they focus, they trying to figure out what they're doing on the field, so there's not really too much that you could get to know them on a personal level. So I'll say when we go out there and do stuff like that, you can get to see their personal side.
And after year 3 is where you see some players start to sign contract extensions. Is that something you're interested in doing right now?
Right now, I'm being where my feet are. I'm just putting the work in right now, going through camp, making sure I'm becoming a better receiver, and I feel like everything going to take care of itself, work itself out.
Offensively, what do you think is possible this year?
I feel like the sky's the limit for us as long as we just take care of the ball and just don't have no self-inflicted wounds or penalties. We got a lot of playmakers on the offensive side, and we got to just help ourselves out by not, shooting ourselves in the foot.
Kind of grittiness to the wide receiver room? Like how have you seen that manifest maybe on the field or in the rooms?
Yeah, we love it. He bring that energy, that dog mentality, and I feel like he's just been fit in with a group of receivers that bring that as well. We do the dirty work and we make plays on the outside as well.
Jordan, you've talked about that yourself, about being comfortable blocking and stuff like that. Is that something you, Justin, Juwan, that you pride yourselves on, being willing to go in there and block as well? Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like an attitude that you got to have. We got Keenan McCardell. He's done it at a high level, so it's a high expectation in that room. And, it's just part of the game. It's part of your job. It's been like with Juwan in the room. It's been good. It's been good just having him in there doing some of the dirty work, making plays. It's just a lot of energy in there right now. A lot of energy.
Anything else?
Hey, there you go. Jordan Addison, receiver, soon to be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. We're at Winter Park, TCO Performance Center, Vikings training camp in Eagan.
When you said Jordan Addison, then I heard the sirens. I got a little concerned there for a second.
Wow.
I always love that one.
There's that. I don't think he's left the facility. I think he's
behaved himself for like a year now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. You know what I like best out here at Eagan is we're right in the flight landing patterns of Minneapolis International Airport. So you see it as just one plane after another. And I often look at them, I wonder who's in those planes, where they go. Well, I know they're going to the airport, but I mean, why are they coming here? Are they coming home? Are they on business? What's the pilot like? Who are the stewardesses? What kind of aircraft is it? Which airline is flying? These are the things that go through it looks like those two planes are racing to see who can get to the
You think they ever have like competition first with each other?
I hope not.
Start revving that thing?
I don't think they do, but yeah, we're right here in the flight line.
Does the one plane have to merge in like it's 394-94 slip in here?
They do the slip in there. Well, I've talked about this before. Have you ever been flying? You have a window seat and you look out and you'll see some other plane. Like it looks like it's about 1,000 feet away and it's going the other direction and it's only about 20 feet below the plane you're in. You're going, I hope they saw that. I mean, was that a near hit? But
I always wonder when they're going through the clouds. Right, you're going through big clouds. What if another plane's going through big clouds?
That's the other thing. It's like being able to fly without instruments at night. It's the same old thing. Yep, those are the things I wonder about. Old Mother Nature. It's quite the gal. Work all day, and she says, "You've had enough." Rings a bell. Let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. The legendary Mark Rosen is here already. He made sure to get an early start because it takes him about twice as long to get wherever he's going as he continues to recover from a knee replacement surgery. A short break, another hour to go. It's continuing coverage of Vikings Training Camp 2026 live from Eagan right here on The Fan.
You're listening to Common, live from Training Camp on The Fan.